Happy Monday, everybody. I'm on my way to drop some packages off at the post office. I had a pretty good weekend in sales. As you can hear or see, it's raining out. We're getting a little bit of that leftover from that hurricane that's passing through. Actually, two hurricanes are coming through. Luckily, they're not hitting us, but we're getting the outskirts. Anyway, I'm going to go into some thrift stores before I hit the post office. So let's see what we can get into. Well, there wasn't much going on at the thrift stores today, but I did manage to get one item. It was a $9.50 snapback new era hat for the Dodgers. I comped that and it was going between $20 and $25. So I believe I paid $4.99 for it. So I should make, I don't know, $5-10 at the most off of it. But that's it for today. We'll see you later. Packages are dropped off at the post office. Now I'm heading to the thrift stores. Let me see what I can get into today. Okay, so I just finished up at the thrift stores and let me show you what I picked up. The first item was a Final Fantasy NES cartridge. They had a bunch of cartridges there. Some of them were overpriced, but this one I can definitely make a $5 to $10 profit off of. The other item that I'm kind of excited about is this ICD BX700 Sony voice recorder. It's still in the package. I comped one on eBay and it was actually, I believe, 20 or 25 bucks, and that was out of package. So this one's still sealed, so this should do pretty good on eBay. But that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. It's Saturday, everybody. I haven't had a chance to go out and do any thrifting in the last 3 days, so I'm going to try to head out now and do some thrifting. I just finished up dropping some stuff off at the post office. It's been a pretty good last couple days in sales, but I've been behind. So got that caught up, and now I'm going to head into the thrift stores and see what we can get into. I just finished up thrifting this morning, and I found some really good stuff. Let me show you what I found. I found a Wendy Carlos Tales of Heaven and Hell CD. I got this. They were having 4 for $1 sale on CDs. This one goes for like $25 or $30. I was surprised when I found out how much this was going for. I found the R.L. Stein book. There was 4 for $1 on books, so I got that for $0.25. And last but not least, some old Dragon and Tamiya, or Tamiya, whichever way you want to call it, models. I paid 12 bucks each for these, but comped them. They go anywhere between 40 and 50 each. So I'm going to take a look inside, make sure everything's there. It felt like they were. They're both pretty heavy. And then we're going to see if we can flip it for some good money. That's all for today. Have a good one. This week's bolo I want to go over is VHS tapes. Not them Disney VHS tapes. They're not worth anything. Stop spending more than a quarter or 50 cents for them. So many people have bought into the hype thinking that those are worth money, but they're not. But what is worth money is certain VHS horror tapes. Now this tape right here I bought a year ago at a Goodwill and ended up spending $1 on it, and it's worth anywhere from $40 to $100. Depends on condition and if the tape has mold or not. But seems like the gorier the cover, the better and more expensive it is. Also, another thing to be looking out for too is big box horror. This isn't a big box horror tape, but it is a big box tape, and you can see the difference here. But big box horror tapes, anything from Comet Video, Wizard Video, they fetch for pretty decent money. So keep an eye out for any of these type of horror movies in a big box format. There's also clamshell, which is a hard, kind of like your Disney tapes. But keep an eye out for tapes, any type of horror that's in that clamshell format. Some of the modern, or not so much modern, but some of the mainstream horror movies don't really go for that much in clamshells because they're so mass produced. But some of the titles that are a little more rare will go. So always try to comp those and see if they're worth anything. I've been doing this for 25 or 30 years, and I've seen a lot of really neat stuff. Like there's Lightning Video, there's Unicorn Video, there's as I said, Wizard Video, there's Radon, who puts out like low budget, I want to say garbage, but low budget garbage type of movies. If you could find them, they fetch for good money. There's some silly titles out there in the horror community that go for outrageous money, like the Killer Refrigerator. Look out for stuff like that. Anything that's really obscure, if you see it, pick it up. I mean, it can't hurt to pick it up for a quarter. It's not like you're going to lose much, but you could make $100, $200, $300 off of these tapes. Another company to look out for is Media, and it's very easy to tell by the bottom label. Some of the Media labels have yellow, different colors on the bottom. This is white. This actually isn't worth anything. I was collecting Media tapes for a while. They put out like Nightmare on Elm Street, Chuck Norris type movies. But anytime you can find any of these type of movies, like I said, shot on video or a big box horror, comp them because they sell pretty good. Also, you want to look inside too to make sure. One of the biggest things that people forget to do is actually look at the tape itself. If it looks like it has white, any type of white on the actual spools, that could be rot on there. So if you find that on there, some people clean it, but a lot of people don't want to mess with it, and it's not worth that much at all if you find that on there. I found many tapes that were really great, and I opened them up, and inside there was tape mold all over, and tape mold just totally destroys your prices. But hopefully that will help you out in purchasing VHS horror tapes. Like I said, there's so many different types, but if you can gain the knowledge and find out which ones are worth money, it's very profitable. I hope that helped this week with the Bolo item, and we'll see you next time. This week I'm going to go over some items that sold on both Mercari and eBay. The first item was a Star Wars Clone Wars Volume 1 DVD. It was out of print and sold for $14.99. I believe I picked it up at a thrift store for $3. It was in great shape, and I turned around and made a decent profit off of it. Basketball cards continue to sell very well for me on eBay. This Gary Trent Jr. Panini Prism Red, White, and Blue Refractor sold for $18. I purchased this a year ago in a pack of cards and sat on it till the time was right. I listed it about a week ago and it sold within 3 days. This vintage Cannibal Holocaust t-shirt ended up selling for $75, best offer. I had it listed for $100. There was actually some people interested in it, but some of them had come in with lowball offers. Some of them were pretty hilarious lowball offers. And finally I got somebody who kind of piqued my interest in selling it. Yeah, the front of the t-shirt is actually based off of one of the gory scenes in the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, it's definitely a crazy movie. Probably one of my favorite cannibal movies. And yeah, there was, like I said, a lot of buzz and interest around it, but I was happy with what I got for it. And anytime I can find vintage horror t-shirts, I know I'm definitely going to make some decent money off of them. Okay, so this next item I didn't know anything about. Usually when I'm comping, I'll have my phone with me, and I've been pretty confident, even without my phone, what labels sell, what to look for. But this label I had never seen. I believe it's called a Zugspitz Trachten shirt, and it's kind of a rockabilly Oktoberfest men's shirt. And when I purchased it, I believe it was $2.99. It was in really good shape, and I said, well, if I lose out, I lose out. You know, selling it for, I was going to sell it for $10 just to see if I can make a little bit of money off of it, because I didn't really know if it was going to sell or not. But after I got home and comped the prices, I couldn't believe that it was actually a pretty decent shirt, sales wise. So I put it for $49.99, and it took maybe a week. I thought it would sit for 5 or 6 months, to be honest with you, but it took about a week, and boom, it sold. So I was very happy with this purchase. This Gamera 2000 PlayStation game sold for $33. If you don't know, Gamera was a giant turtle who started in the 60s in Japanese science fiction movies. He was a giant turtle that would save kids. They made 12 movies in all that went all the way up to, I think, 2006. But this game I had for a while. I never actually played it. It was just one of them games I had. And like I said, I ended up selling it for $33. This Bryce Harper Mike Trout lot I ended up selling for $15. Whenever I would buy packs of baseball cards, I would just take out all the stars and put them in sleeves and hold on to them in a separate box. I started looking at some of the prices on some of the optic Mike Trouts, and they raised a little bit in value. and I figured the time was right just to get rid of these. They were not common, they were kind of uncommon, but at the same time, the real thing here is the Bryce Harper rookie card. I had purchased this in a box for $4.99 maybe about a year or two ago, and I got the word on the net that there was people who were purchasing them and getting the rookie cards out of these boxes. So I had went and grabbed a couple boxes of them, and I believe I had 2 of them out of 4 boxes. So I held on to them for a little while and ended up selling them. Like I said, there was one I sold a couple months ago for $26. His value started sliding, so I figured, well, I'm going to go ahead and lot him up with Mike Trout. And the bronze optic was actually, I think, a $3 or $4 card. So nothing that's really going to kill me, and it's not going to make me a huge profit. But nonetheless, it probably made me about $8 or $9 when it was all said and done. Here's an example of why you should sell on multi-platforms. I had this listed on eBay for 2 months at $75. I had some general interest in it. I had some lowball offers. I had some people that were going to pay, but not what I wanted, and not the number that I wanted to meet them at, or they wanted to meet me at. So I had listed it on Mercari, and not even 5 minutes later, someone had bought it. So it's always a good idea to sell across multi-platforms. It might not sell on one, but it might sell on another. I had purchased this for $1, and it was still sealed. I ended up putting it on eBay and Mercari at the same time, but I got an offer on Mercari for $17 and sold it on there. This vintage Dale Earnhardt t-shirt was part of that Goodwill lot I got last week for $3 each. I sold pretty much all of them. The next video should have the last one in it. It sold, but this one sold for $53. I listed it across multi-platforms. eBay, there was a few offers, but they were kind of low and not what I wanted. And when I listed it on Mercari, probably about 30 minutes later, I had an offer for $53, so I took it. I was very happy purchasing it, and I was very happy at what I sold it for. That's it for this week's episode. I think my favorite thing this week was probably that Final Fantasy game I picked up. Brings back memories to my childhood. But that's all for this week. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.